What's up, fan addicts, fan guy addicts? It's your boy, Josh Fan Guy, coming to you with Week 9 NFL Daily Fantasy Advice from the Ultimate Fan Guy. If I seem like I'm hurrying through this, it's because I literally just recorded this, but didn't have my microphone on. It was muted. So if I seem like I'm hurrying through the first part of this segment, it's because I literally just recorded for like 20 minutes without recording, without being able having any audio. So, the good news is you won't have to watch me go through my thought process on a lot of this opening stuff with quarterbacks and running backs. But, I might not be as little in depth as I was. So sorry about that. But anyway, here we go. Josh Allen. Most expensive quarterback of the week by a mile. He could have a huge day because Buffalo does not often like to put on the brakes when they are beating the crap out of somebody. They are going to beat the crap out of the Jets. If you feel like spending a lot on a quarterback, I will not tell you not to play Josh Allen. He could break the slate this week. However, at that price tag, I'm not going to be playing him on a ton of lineups. Kyler Murray, Seattle at Arizona. This game could have a ton of game scripts going from complete snore fest like their first game, low scoring affair, to complete shootout. Obviously, Vegas is betting on them to be a rebound shootout game. I am as well. I think it's like a boxing analogy where they've kind of learned each other. And the difference is that this game's in Arizona and not in Seattle. Seattle's a very much more defensive place to play. Arizona and Seattle could be a high-scoring affair. So if you wanted to play Kyler Murray at 7,400, especially with how he's been rocking with D-Hop lately, I wouldn't tell you not to do it. I'm going to have at least one or two lineups with both those guys on them. Herbert. Okay, so look, this has nothing to do with Herbert. Here's the thing. The Chargers, when they're winning a game, they set the pace of the game. They have a very high-paced offense, fast-paced offense, a lot of opportunities for Justin Herbert to get stuff. However, Atlanta, polar opposite. They are the most slow, dink and dunk, 5, 3, 4 yard at a time team to just methodically move down the field while eating away at the clock team in the league. So this game is going to depend on which offense is able to enforce their methodology. Like if the Chargers can get up to a big lead early, then Herbert could have a great day. But if Atlanta keeps it competitive early, this is going to be a slow plotting affair that is going to cap Herbert's upside in this game. And that's what we're looking for in daily fantasy. We're looking for upside. Tua, Miami at Chicago. So look, Dak just busted up Chicago, but that was at home in Dallas. This is a game in Chicago. Chicago plays better defensively at home, obviously. So while I don't think Tua is necessarily a bad play at this particular price tag, I'm not going to be playing him a ton this week just because I think, Chicago's defense is better than people give it credit for. Next, you got Burrow at home against Carolina. I didn't play him last time he broke the slate. If he breaks the slate this week, I probably won't be playing him either because no Jamar Chase. I do think this is a better setup for Mixon. I do think if Burrow goes out there to prove he's good without Jamar Chase, he could have a great game. We saw that Cincy with Jamar Chase doesn't put their foot on the brake. I don't know how they're going to react if they're beating the crap out of Carolina. I don't know if they're going to go to a more Mixon game plan without Jamar Chase in there. I would be inclined to think they will. So I'm not going to be playing a ton of Burrow this week, but he does have upside. Kirk Cousins, I think they're going to beat the crap out of the Washington. And I think a better setup for Dalvin Cook than Kirk Cousins, honestly. Brady, I'm not touching the Rams-Bucks game except for on like one or two contrarian lineups where I'm like, this is it. Vegas has the fix in, and the Bucks-Rams game is going to be the highest scoring game of the week because everyone should take the under on this game. Everyone should think this is going to be a defensive game. You got two of the better defenses in the league, two of the struggling offenses in the league. So except for on very select lineups where I'm like, okay, I'm going to play this lineup specifically saying Tom Brady has his breakout week this week, I'm not messing with this game. Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, I think could have his breakout game this week. They're in Detroit. You know how Rodgers likes to own everybody. Rodgers has been terrible this year. I do like Aaron Jones a lot this week as well. But I like, Aaron Rodgers could definitely have his first big day of the year this week. It's a game against Detroit. It's a game that they may have to throw a bunch. Both teams. It could be a high-scoring game. Could be a low-scoring game. We know Detroit's defense is really bad. So I will absolutely have a couple of lineups this week saying that Aaron Rodgers has his bomb week and puts it to Detroit. He is a little banged up too. You know what? That's so Aaron Rodgers to like be like, oh, my fingers hurt, and then go put up 40. So you know what, Aaron Rodgers, I'm gonna play you on this lineup. Um, Kids, don't try this at home. Um, oh, why did it move? Oh, okay, I see why. Anyway, Geno Smith, great matchup, man. Arizona, this could be a really high scoring game if Arizona gets their offense rolling. Geno Smith is going to have to captain that Seattle offense to keep up with them. So at this price tag of 5,800, great, pretty good matchup. I'm about Geno Smith this week. I'll have him on some lineups. Stafford, same thing as Brady, just not messing with that game. Goff. So Green Bay's defense is actually pretty good, but if you think that Aaron Rodgers is going to score a bunch of points or that, don't write off Detroit's offense in this game. Goff's actually not looked terrible this year. It's a home game. It's a rivalry game. So I definitely do believe that Jared Goff could have a big week. Derek Carr, same thing. I think he could have a big week. This is another game where I think on paper, it's more of a Josh Jacobs day. It should be a Josh Jacobs day. But is it going to be a Josh Jacobs day? We don't know. We know that Vegas does way better when it is a Josh Jacobs day. But I just got this weird gut feeling this week that Carr and Devontae Adams try to do something. And if it's not too windy in Jacksonville, I think they'll try to make that happen. So I could see, especially after getting embarrassed by the Saints last week, I could definitely see Carr and Devontae Adams be able to prove something this week. So I'll probably have a Carr Devontae Adams lineup or two. Heineke. I like Heineke. 5,400. Let's go, Heineke. This is a game Washington's going to be losing. They're going to have to throw a bunch to keep up with Minnesota. So I'm fine with Heineke. You want to throw a dart at Heineke at 5,400? Make sure you take Terry McLaurin with him. But yeah, you could throw a dart at Heineke for 5,400. I'm fine with it. Matchup's pretty good. It's a home game that they're supposed to be losing. It's a pretty decent setup for Heineke. I'll go on record right now and say I'm not going to play Marcus Mariota this game or any other game this year. That offense, for me, is the most plodding, boring offense in the NFL. And for fantasy purposes, it is the worst offense to have any piece of. And honestly, to have any piece of the opposing team most of the time. Justin Fields could have a good day. If Miami does Miami's thing, puts up some points, it's going to be a very Justin Fields-centric offense in Chicago. So actually could be a pretty big day for Fields if you want to throw a dart at him at 5,300 in a good matchup against the Dolphins at home in Chicago. This would be a good day to play Fields. I'll have Justin Fields on actually a lineup or two. PJ Walker, no. Trevor Lawrence. Now look, if Vegas decides they want to come out with Devontae Adams and Derek Carr, throw a bunch and crush souls, then Lawrence will have to keep up. Again, I think this is a better setup for the running backs in this game, ATN and Jacobs. But again, if you think that this game is going to be a high-scoring affair for some reason, then obviously Trevor Lawrence at 5,200 is just fine. I don't really like any. I'm not even going to talk about any quarterback below that, quite honestly, because I have nothing that's relevant to say that is going to make you want to play them. So that's the quarterback look. I'm still debating whether I want to play Rodgers in this lineup. We'll leave it as a Rodgers lineup for now. But I do like Aaron Jones a ton this week. He's here. You can see at 7,400. I like him better than a lot of the options around him. He's coming off some pretty big weeks this week, so it definitely could shift back to Aaron Rodgers wanting a little of that diva attention for himself, putting up a 30 burger, spreading it. Rodgers might even spread it to like 7 or 6 guys. So for this lineup, I'm actually probably going to play into that. I'm probably going to say Rodgers spreads it to like all around and maybe not even stack him with anybody. So anyway, Eckler. Look, Eckler for this price tag at 8,800 against Atlanta, who ruins the value of most people they play because, like I said, they're too ball control. The only game script that favors Eckler a lot is if LA just comes right out of the gate, beating the crap out of him, and then because Eckler's hurt, he might not even get the reps when they're if they decide to start running the clock. So at this price tag, I'm just not feeling Eckler this week. Dalvin Cook, great setup for him. Don't like this price tag, but great setup for him. Could have a good day. Aaron Jones, we just talked about. Josh Jacobs, just talked about him too. Love him. They should really utilize him this week. The games that the Raiders do better, by far, are the games that he does better. And the games that get him involved. This is a huge spot for Josh Jacobs. And I have a hard time thinking that they're not going to get back to giving him the rock. So he'll be our first running back we go ahead and throw. And Leonard Fournette, look, staying away from that game. Great setup for Mixon here. If this is a game Cincy could be ahead early, could lean on Mixon this one. This is one of Mixon's bigger shots for a bigger day he's had in a while. Swift, they said he's still banged up, man. They're saying he's not at 100%. Yada yada yada. A lot of stuff around this guy right now. Jamal Williams is looking like a beast anyway. So don't trust DeAndre Swift to be a slate breaker, and definitely not at this price tag. He was limited in practice today. Keep an eye on that one. ATN. So look, I would probably play ATN in this game instead of Jacobs, and I might. Both these guys have a lot of upside. I'm gonna go ATN because I think it's gonna be a Devontae Adams day. Just call me crazy, but I think the way he's been playing, everything. Like anytime Devontae Adams ever had a game like this, his last game, this dude is coming back. So, look, I'm skipping the receivers just to say play Devontae Adams this week. And because I'm playing Devontae Adams, I'm not going to play Josh Jacobs. Though I do think Josh Jacobs is a great. I'm not going to play Josh Jacobs on this lineup. I do think Josh Jacobs is a great play this week. Anyway, Mixon, great play. Ramondre Stevenson. Let's see how hurt Damian Harris is. He was not spotted at practice. Holy hell. Okay, so Ramondre might have another massive workload this week. Look, I'm throwing him in there right now. This is a game in Foxborough against a bad Indy team right now. This is one that New England is going to win, and they're almost certainly going to lean on this guy, especially with their other running back hurt. But we still got to talk about running backs because, if you decide to play an expensive quarterback and some other expensive players, you're not going to be able to necessarily play too expensive running backs like that, even though they're not too expensive. But anyway, let's keep going. Kenneth Walker, this guy blew up against Arizona last time, had a really good matchup. I think the game script goes a little differently in Arizona than it did in Seattle. I think the Seattle game script favored Walker more than does the Arizona one. But Walker's been, pretty good. He's been getting tons of volume every game he's played. He's gotten a bunch of carries. He's involved in the passing game. Great. Kenneth Walker could be a league winner this year. But anyway, I'm not crazy about him this week, but I wouldn't tell you not to play him. History says he's a good play this week. Raheem Mostert. I'm not going to be playing Raheem Mostert this week. Chicago's not the greatest matchup, even though Mostert does seem to have a hot, cold, rotational week. Didn't Miami just get a new running back? They did, Jeff Wilson. Yeah, I knew that. So yeah, we're not even sure how they feel about Mostert, being as they just reached out for Jeff Wilson. So no, I'm fading Mostert this week. David Montgomery again. Khalil Herbert has looked just as good, if not better. Fading this backfield, though one of them could have a good day. You just never know. Foreman, look at that, man, up to 6,000. Look at you go, buddy. The Carolina's offense is been running through him, so he's there. I'm not crazy about this matchup though in Cincy. I think this could be more of a DJ Moore day. Jamal Williams, look, keep your eye on that DeAndre Swift injury status, because if he isn't playing, Jamal Williams at 5,900 becomes a massive, massive amount of value right here. Benjamin, again, same thing about Connor. And look at this. He's once again a game time decision. So this is one that's funky for me because I do think that there is I think it's probably more of a Hopkins day, but if Connor's not going, then Benjamin at 5,900 is actually a really, really good value here. And he'll find his way into a lot of my lineups. You just got to keep your eyes open. Sunday morning, I believe. No, the Arizona game's in the afternoon, huh? Oh, that's tricky when players do that in the afternoon slates because there's not a lot of people you can swap them in and out for. Luckily, Benjamin and Connor. Oh, I don't want to play Connor, though. Oh, vomit. All right, so what I would advise you to do is Sunday morning, keep your eyes open on the When's the Detroit game? Yeah. Okay, so look. Keep your eyes open on the Detroit, the next few days on the Detroit situation. Any lineups that you may have, like if you want to play Jamal Williams or something and you got to switch it, you look for guys in the same price range to be able to make swaps with if you're going to play somebody real questionable like that. Anyway, A.J. Dillon could have a good day. I mean, if Green Bay smacks up Detroit, but Detroit, Detroit defense is really bad. Like, really bad. So if the Packers go to a super conservative approach here, they could just run it all day against them. Singletary against the Jets. I actually like the setup for Singletary this week. They just got Nyheim Hines, which may cut into his stuff a little bit. But I don't know. If you want to throw a dart at Singletary this week, this might be the last week you ever get to throw a dart at him, depending on how the situation with Hines shakes out. Harris hasn't been spotted at practice all week, thus the Ramondre Stevenson. Pitt Madison back up. Hines first week on a new team, probably not. Just going down, just looking. Algier. He's getting the volume here. This is actually not the... He's getting some value here. Him and this Hundley cat. Where's Hundley? Yeah, him and Hundley been going back and forth. Is Patterson back this week? Okay, so we'll find out about Patterson this week. If Patterson comes back this week, watch out. And Patterson becomes a pretty good play at 5,800. Otherwise, you could definitely throw a dart at either one of the the Falcons running backs. They got a good matchup this week, and if Atlanta is able to do their thing and just pound the ball away on the ground, slow and plodding game, could be a good day for either one of them. Chuba's out for sure, which makes Foreman a little bit better of a play there. Surprised to see Darrell Henderson at 5,100. Like, I get it. Wow, their backfield is just something else, huh? Oh man, yeah, this is dangerous. This is a dangerous one. But yeah, if you want to throw a dart at Darrell Henderson at that price tag, I wouldn't hate you for it. Oh, of course, I dropped Cam Akers in a few leagues, and there's a possibility he plays this week. Here comes the Cam Akers resurgence. Anyway, that's all I got to say about running backs. Not a lot of crazy other good value down there. Maybe Huntley. But we already talked about him. So I already told you how I felt about Devontae Adams this week. I'm gonna have him on some lineups. I'm gonna have D Hop on some lineups. Probably not gonna be playing a ton of Cup. Jefferson could have a great day. Hill, I'm not going to be playing him on a ton of lineups this week. It's not great matchups there. Diggs, again, I'm just not... this could be a big Diggs day, too. These guys are going to beat the crap out of the Jets. And that makes me think that Diggs might not be as involved as much because they're beating the crap out of the Jets. I don't know. Wow, they really compensated for Jamar Chase being out. They just drove the price up on Higgins like crazy, huh? That's wild. Anyway, Waddle, no. Higgins maybe, but not at this price tag. I got to see where Boyd's going to fall in price tags there. Evans, just staying away from that game. Gabe Davis, wow. He could have another big day here. Somebody's got to score. Buffalo's going to score a bunch of points. Somebody's going to score them. I'm just worried it's a spread out week. This feels like a week where like 4 or 5 different people get touchdowns for Buffalo. Pittman, nope, not with that quarterback. Mike Williams out. That is a good reason to look at Palmer this week. Palmer's probably going to be a pretty... Where is Palmer? 5,100, huh? Oh, yeah, Joshua Palmer. Joshua Palmer is going to be one of my most played people this week without Mike Williams in there. Even though I don't like this Atlanta game script, I do think that they're gonna have to throw the ball. Palmer is so is going to be their tight end. Gerald Everett. Don't sleep on Gerald Everett this week. I may switch it up, not play Palmer, play Everett. We'll see. Anyway, let's continue. St. Brown, man, what a great. I guess they got him priced cheaper than usual because the Packers got a decent defense. But you know what? If Aaron Rodgers has a huge day and puts up a bunch of points like on this lineup, I absolutely have to play St. Brown. Because that's just what that game script would entail. I'll be playing St. Brown on some lineups this week too. There's a lot of receivers I like. There's a lot of running backs. There's a lot of players I actually like this week. I think it's going to be a very high scoring week. I think there's going to be a lot of overs hit this week as well. Tyler Boyd, 6,300. Wow, same as basically as DK Metcalf. That's crazy. I like DK and I like Tyler Boyd this week. I thought that one of these Bengals receivers would be a little cheaper, but man, they just went right in and made them both pretty high, huh? Anyway, gotta like Lockett, but basically same price as DK. McLaurin's really good value at 5,900. Wow, this is really good value at 5,900. Damn, I like too many expensive players on this lineup. Okay, so I'm gonna pull Amon-Ra out. I'm gonna go with because I know I need to save money on this lineup because I've already got some expensive players in here like Devontae. McLaurin, man, gotta go Scary Terry. Great matchup. They're gonna throw it to him a ton this week. I also really like DJ Moore. He's been on fire since PJ Walker came into the thing. I think Moore might cool down a little this week, but I do think this is a game they arguably gonna have to throw to him a bunch. So DJ Moore 5,800, great value, superb value for him. McLaurin, Palmer, these are massive value picks this week. Christian Kirk, another guy I think could have a bounce back week this week. If I wasn't playing ATN, I'd probably be playing Kirk. I do think he could easily have a bounce back week. It's a good matchup for him to do it in a game script that they might be able to do it. Thielen, I'm not gonna play him, but you never know. Romeo Dobbs. So, dude's gotten his target share is getting a little better, I guess. No, it's not. Yeah, Dobbs could have a good day, and he's cheap as hell. Actually, I should stack him here probably with Aaron Rodgers because I'm playing Aaron Rodgers lineup. So yeah, I probably shouldn't I? Anyway, we'll just go through. I love Romeo Dobbs. I'm not gonna sidetrack y'all too much with my own personal thoughts on this particular lineup. Anyway, but as you can see, my brain working. I want y'all to process that because that's what goes into each lineup. It's not just picking players. If you're doing it right, you're picking game scripts. You're picking a game script that goes along with several parts of that lineup because then it just makes sense. The whole flow makes sense. So keep the big picture in mind as well. Curtis Samuel, probably not for me this week. Rondale Moore, always a threat, but now that D-Hop's back, probably not. Allen Robinson could have a sneaky showing this week if that game has points. With all of LA's weapons out this week, things change a little bit too with that game script. But anyway, Claypool. Wow, they already have Claypool higher than Mooney. That is crazy. They might try to get Claypool involved early. I wouldn't be surprised to see Claypool go get involved early and often right away. I'll probably have Claypool on one or two lineups just to cover my ass on that one. I could see Claypool having a big day. I think he's going to be better in that offense than he was in the Steelers. I think they're going to use him better. Garrett Wilson, this guy's a slam dunk play this week that I can play in my flex, right? I think he's a slam dunk play this week because Corey Davis is out. They have a big problem with Elijah Moore. So yeah, I'll play him. He's cheap as hell. Got to get him in that. And now I'll actually be able to play. I'll be able to play this lineup, which I'm happy about. But anyway, cheap other receivers we like. Could throw a dart at Carter here as well. He's the Chargers' other receiver that's going to be playing. Pretty freaking cheap. This could be Elijah Moore's come out game. I thought it was going to be last week because I thought the squeaky wheel would get the grease. It did not get the grease. But yeah, don't sleep on him. If you're not going to play Garrett Wilson, you could easily play Elijah Moore. The Jets are gonna have to throw this week against the Bills. They're gonna have to. They're absolutely gonna have to. So for like your cheap spot on your lineup, don't be afraid to go Garrett Wilson or Elijah Moore. Both are very, very affordable and can help you fit in some more expensive players. I'm gonna actually have a lot of fun building my lineups over the next day or two because there's just so many fun matchups this week and stuff to exploit. Tight ends, look, I never get in a big thing on tight ends. I think Everett has a lot of value this week. I think Ertz has a lot of value this week. Do they want to get Hawkinson involved early? I don't know. Tanyan again could have a lot of value this week. Bobby T. You know what? I'm gonna play Bobby T this week on this lineup, but I'm gonna go back to tight ends. Higbee could have a good day. Hurst could have a good day. These are both guys in good situations. Higbee and Hurst are both great plays. Dawson Knox could have a good day. So all these guys in this little range right here, the 3,500, I actually like. Well, I like Everett a lot up here, right? But I like Higbee, Hurst, and Knox realistically as much as I like Pitts, who's 1,000 more. Ingram's been heavily involved in that offense. If you're not playing ATN or Kirk, Ingram, I mean, look at this. He's actually been really good. Not 10, 6, 7, 6. That's good for a tight end this season, especially an affordable tight end. Could always look at Otton for Tampa Bay. He's always on the verge. Old Conklin, man. Conklin had a monster week last week. Zach Wilson found him a bunch. Don't be surprised. They have to throw this week if it's to Conklin. Conklin's got a lot of sneaky value at 3,200. I doubt he has 2 monster weeks in a row. Hence, I think it'll be one of the receivers. But there's some value there. Same with Kmet. Same with Hunter Henry. You can play any of these guys. My point with tight end, especially this season, this is just how I feel about it. Henry and above, really, is you can play virtually any of the receivers, Hunter Henry or above, and you're okay. Like they all are in that meh tier. So just pick a tight end based on who should have a high scoring game this week. I picked Tanyan in this lineup because he pairs with Rodgers. Defenses, I can afford a decent defense this week. Hey, go us. Who's it gonna be? I don't like, and conversely, I don't like a lot of defenses this week because, I love the Patriots. Oh, can I get the Patriots? I do love the Patriots' defense this week. A lot, actually. I hate like an expensive defense. So we're going to switch. Look at this. We're going to switch Garrett Wilson to Elijah Moore on this lineup because we have enough to do it. There it is. So this will be our example lineup of for this one. Hopefully, you at least got a little bit of something from this exercise where we went through some stuff, let you know about some important injuries to keep your eyes on, and go out there, crush some souls, put in work, make that money. Let me know how you do, because that's what we do around here. We crush souls. So it was fun, guys. I'm glad I'm back. Sorry about missing last week. Had a crazy week, but I'll keep these videos coming for y'all. Much love. Crush your leagues, crush daily fantasy, and drop a like, subscribe. Much love.